Emily, may I have a word with you? Oh, it's you, Camille. What do you want with me? How dare you call me an old hug? Because it's true. I'm in my 20s and 40 is old enough to be an old hag. But you will be 30 next year, right? I'm still young compared to you. I'm sorry. So why did you call me? Talking to you is making me feel old, so why don't you hurry up? Emily, it sounds like you're telling your daughter to stop hanging out with the old hag's daughter. Of course, it's not good to have anything to do with an old hag's daughter, because then someone might say that my daughter's mom is an old hag too. You can talk about me all you want, but don't drag my daughter into this. The other day, your kid threw a toy at my daughter. That's what kids do, right? She told me she was picking on my daughter because her mother told her to. Well, I don't want her around an old hag's kid. But that doesn't mean you should harass her. She's very hurt. She wants to play with the other kids, but your daughter is ordering them to leave my daughter out. She's sad because she has no one to play with. What's that? Are you saying it's my fault? Isn't it? It's not good for your daughter upbringing if you keep doing that. She'll turn out to be an ugly person who bullies the weak. No, no, no. What's an old hag like you talking about? Why don't you look in the mirror first and then give your opinion? I'm getting old day by day, but that's okay. What does it matter what I look like? You'll regret it sooner or later if you judge people only by their looks. Are you trying to scare me? I'm not afraid of what an old hag says to me. If it's too much, I'll report you to my husband. Why don't you just do whatever you want? Your husband is an old man, isn't he? What can an old man do? You don't know anything. Anyway, don't do anything to hurt my daughter. She doesn't even want to go to kindergarten because of you. So why don't she just stop coming? People don't want to have anything to do with an old hag's kid. They smell it when she's around. The other moms don't like you either, so why don't you get the hell out of here? You're the only one who hates me. The other moms are fine with me. And they're upset that your daughter is ordering their kids to leave us out. Why does it bother you? They don't want anything to do with the old hag's kids, do they? No one thinks that. I'm just asking you not to do anything that'll be a bad influence to them. You've heard that from other mothers, haven't you? She didn't mean it anyway. You say it for the children. But the truth is, people don't want to be around old ladies like you. Why do you think so? Because there are only women in their 20s and 30s in the mommy club, right? Other mothers wouldn't want to be with an old hag in her 40s because they'll start looking like and smelling like an old hag and feel bad, so they don't want to hang around you. Of course, I don't want to be friends with you either. I don't want to see you in front of me ever again. That's impossible. Our kids go to the same kindergarten. We live next door. You'll see me even if you don't want to. I told you I don't even want to see you. Ugly old hag like you should stay home and shut up. I won't forgive you next time I see your face. A few days later. Hey, why did you do that? You showed up in front of me, so you broke your promise. And it's also to protect my daughter. I didn't want your smell to stick to my daughter, so I threw some sand. Don't come back to the park. You're a pain in the ass. You also threw sand to your husband's boss, huh? What? What do you mean, husband's boss? Your husband works for the theater company, right? Yes, but your husband's boss is my husband. Really? Is that right? My husband is the general manager of the theater company. If I tell him my last name, maybe he'll understand. You're just lying to scare me, aren't you? I don't believe that lie. What makes you think I'm lying? I've heard my husband talk about him, so he is famous and handsome boss in the company, isn't he? I've said hello to him during my husband's company trips, but I can't believe that such a handsome man is your husband. He's almost a year older than me. If you think I'm lying, I can send you a picture of him at home. I have tons of pictures of him, but if you're telling me this, is it true? I've posted some pictures of our family on my social media account, but you don't follow me, so I guess you didn't know. Well, I didn't want to look at your pictures because they would make my eyes rot. You shouldn't say anything that would make my husband angry. He's looking at your message next to me, and he's getting angry, as if he's about to spit fire. He's looking at it too? He took a paid day off and stayed home today. But there's nothing to be afraid of, even if you tell him. Really? He told me something else. What? Emily, it seems you gave your contact info to some hot guys on the company trip. I think my husband was one of them. I didn't do that. But my husband says he has your contact info. He showed me the message and it says you fell in love with him and you're waiting to hear from him. What? He saved it for me. He didn't delete it because he thought it could be used as evidence. Of course he didn't mean to contact you. It's true that no one contacts me after I've given them my contact information. You're married, aren't you? You think you're allowed to do this even if you already have a husband? As long as he doesn't find out, I'll be fine, right? My husband told me that you'll tell your husband that you've been harassing me and my daughter and that you gave him your contact information on a company trip. Hey, don't do anything unnecessary. He seems to respect his boss a lot, so he'll be furious. Why did you give your husband's boss your contact info? Didn't you think that he might tell on your husband? I didn't think it was my husband's boss at that time because he looked so young. It wasn't until he got back from the trip that I found out that he was my husband's boss. I see. I was afraid he'd tell on me someday, but I guess he was just thinking of me. No, it's not that he was thinking of you. It's just that he was so disgusted when he found out that you had given your contact information to the other employees as well. Of course, the other employees didn't seem to have feelings for you either. What? I'm the youngest and most beautiful of all other moms. Everyone saw me on the company trip, and I stood up the most. Maybe it was because your fancy clothes. You're almost 30 and you still dress like you're a college girl, right? I think you stood out in a bad way. I thought they thought I was young and beautiful. You may think you're young and beautiful, but I think you're quite old. I don't want to hear that from an old lady, and besides, I'm much better looking than an old lady in her 20s. How about it? Anyway, my husband is quite angry too, so be prepared. He hasn't told my husband anything yet, has he? No. He said he'll talk to your husband directly after he finishes work. You'll also receive a call from the kindergarten, so please respond to it. What? From the kindergarten? Actually, I reported you to the teacher today with some of my other friends. What did you report? That you're harassing my daughter and that you instructed your own child to harass her with the other children at the school. If they do that, they'll contact my husband too, right? Your husband seems like a decent guy, and I thought it would be faster to get him to intervene. Don't do anything you don't have to. Tell the kindergarten right away that it was a mistake or else your daughter will be in trouble. Are you threatening me? Will you stop threatening me? Hey, I got a message from my husband that his boss is furious. He's asking if I did you something. My husband called your husband right away. No way. That means I'm getting a sermon today. Now I'm getting a call from the kindergarten. Well, I guess you'll just have to deal with that. A few days later. I'm sorry for the trouble I've caused you. My husband was very angry with me. I will try not to be rude from now on. So please, forgive me. I'm surprised to see you apologizing like this, but I'm glad to hear that you're feeling some remorse. It seems that the kindergarten teacher gave you a hard time. They told me that the next time I do something that will affect the other students, I will be asked to leave the kindergarten. You're not going to exclude my daughter from your group now, are you? I would never do that. Your daughter apologized to my daughter, and she's not mad at her for hurting her. In fact, it seems that they have made up and are playing together now. She's happy to have a friend to play with. I see. Thank you for your forgiveness. I don't want kids to get caught up in some adult's mess. But your husband is pretty angry with you, isn't he? Is that part okay? We managed to avoid a divorce, but after the other night, he barely talks to me. Usually, he's so loud, but the last few days, he's been treating me like I'm an airhead. My daughter doesn't like the way I've been ordering her around, so she and my husband have been ignoring me. It's hard for me to stay at home. I can't stand to be like this every day. I'm going to have to change my mind and improve my relationship with my family, little by little. I know. It may take time to get back to the way things were before, but I'll do my best. A few days later, I need to ask you something. Is now a good time? What is it? Are you on social media under the name Cami? I was looking at the followers of other moms and I found an account of a woman who looks like you, so maybe it's your account. Yes, I think that's my account. No way, you have 20,000 followers. Have you always been so famous? I didn't know was such a famous person around me. I don't think having 20,000 followers means you're famous. No. I don't even have 30 followers, and I lost more than 10 followers because of the last incident. I guess so. Some of my mom's friends said they were going to take this as an opportunity to cut ties with me. I knew it. I miss seeing and talking to everyone. I don't blame them. Well, it's your fault. Yeah, but so all those cool pictures on social media, what does Camille do? You're not a celebrity, are you? Actually, I used to be a model and I talk about clothes on my social media account. A model? That's amazing. It's not that big of a deal. Are you involved in any projects now? I don't only post photos, but I also stream videos on YouTube. I see. Do you have a lot of subscribers there? More than my other social media accounts. Wow, does that mean you're a YouTuber? Well, something like that. That's amazing. I'm really digging you. Thank you very much. I can't believe you're famous. Was it because of your online presence? Some of my mom friends knew me from my modeling days, so they would talk to me. No kidding. I didn't know there were people like that around me. I'm not that great. I wasn't even a big name model. I think it's just a coincidence that YouTube's growing. No. Even if it was a coincidence, it's amazing. I respect you so much. Can I follow you on social media? I don't mind. It's not locked and anyone can see it. Thank you. I'm following you now. I see. Well, Camille, I want you to follow me too. Why? Because we are friends, right? You follow other moms, so you should follow me too. It's my choice whether or not to follow you. I'm sorry, but I only follow people I consider friends. What? Does that mean you don't consider me as your friend? Why would I want to be friends with you after you called me an old hag so much? Are you still angry with me? I'm not angry, but I don't want to be friends with you. But the kids are friends with each other, right? And your husband is my husband's boss. Let's be friends. It's true that our husbands are boss and subordinate to each other. But that doesn't mean we have to be friends with each other, right? But I want to be friends with you. At that time, you said you didn't want to have anything to do with an old hag like me because I smell of old age, but you've changed your attitude a lot, haven't you? I'm just saying that if I get involved with you, who's popular on social media, I might become famous too. You're a show-off, are you? So why don't you make a joint account with me and start something? Why do I have to create an account with you? Because I'm fine on my own. I don't need your help. I think you need to change your behavior so that your husband won't abandon you. Your husband said he's so disgusted with you that he's considering divorce. Is that so? Of course, he would want to divorce you after he found out that you taught a bad thing to your child and made advances to the other male employees in the company. But he said he's not getting a divorce. He doesn't want to divorce right away, but if you don't change your behavior, he said he's considering it. If I get divorced, I'll be in trouble. I'm a stay-at-home mom and I can't afford to lose my husband's income. What should I do? First of all, don't ever speak down to people just because of their appearance, and don't do anything to hurt people. And of course, don't force your children to do it. Do you understand? So you doesn't want to be friends with me. I'm lonely because the other moms don't talk to me anymore. I can't stand to be alone. You created the situation, didn't you? I know. You have to change your mindset first. Maybe then people will want to talk to you again. I see. I know it's hard to change your personality, but good luck. Bye. After this message, I no longer keep in touch with Emily. Of course, I say hello to her when I see her, but we don't have conversations beyond that. I guess she doesn't know how to interact with me. Emily, who used to behave as much as she wanted to the other mom's friends, is now completely alone. She is now making efforts in her own way not to be abandoned by her family. I can only hope that she will take this opportunity to be a decent adult.